Thank you everybody for joining us for this next panel session. I hope you've all been enjoying the conference and the event so far. I was here yesterday also and had the pleasure of being on another panel, and we had some great discussions about AI and customer experience. We'll be picking that topic up again today with my distinguished guests here. And it's an interesting time, as I'm sure you are all aware, with customer experience now being such a huge focus and huge industry. In fact, it's amazing to see, particularly in Saudi Arabia. From my point of view, I first worked in customer experience in Saudi in 2013, I think, when we set up the CX labs in Riyadh Bank. And to go from that startup concept of what is CX and how do we introduce customer experience into the kingdom, to now being at events like this where, mashallah, we have, hundreds of professionals, hundreds of businesses, all of you attending and working in this field. So definitely we have seen that growth. And at the same time, we've seen the growth of AI, especially more recently. And so today's conversation, we're going to focus on, of course, customer experience and also artificial intelligence, but more from a sort of short-term perspective to think what can we anticipate, or what do our experts that we have here have as guidance for what we can see in the next few years only. So the impact of customer experience from an AI disruption or an AI enhancement. So thank you again for joining. My name is Hamad Khan. I'll be your moderator then for this session. And if I may invite each of my guests to firstly introduce themselves, and then I will get us started with the discussion topics from today. Maybe we can start to my left. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for inviting us to be here today. I'm glad to be part of this panel.
Yeah, and thank you.
This is better?
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm d.Zehir Khayat. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Lوسيديا. I have been with Lوسيديا serving customer experience since, I guess, 2016, 2017, where we started a small startup, and we are now competing in the market with big players in the CX market.
Amazing. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us, and Hamad for hosting the great panel. So my name is Yash. I'm the co-founder and CEO of XEBO.ai, AI-based experience management platform, helping companies to listen to their customer and employee feedback. And just to tell you in terms of how important AI is for us, we were, till last month, we were called Survey to Connect. And given the work that we are doing in AI, we had to rebrand ourselves and call XEBO.ai. I will talk more about that. But that is the importance of AI that we are seeing in our daily work.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is براء. I am the UX and CX director at ShareTech. I'm very happy to be at this panel today with everybody here. And thank you for joining us. And very excited to discuss, this hot topic of AI and how it's going to integrate with customer experience. Yeah, thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is المهند السبيعي. I'm a CX director at طويق. It's a fintech company. I consider myself as an early adopter of AI tools. And I convince many of my friends and teammates to use AI tools. Thank you so much.
Amazing. So as we can see, we have a great panel of CX experts who have already each shown they're active in the AI space already. And what a lot of people often don't realize is AI is not new. Actually, it's one of maybe the oldest forms of computer science from my own recollection. The sciences and the algorithms and the technologies have been well underdeveloped for 50, 60 years, maybe even longer. And, when we've all now come across ChatGPT and other public tools in the last year or so, we have to remember that it's because of the last 50 years of developing that technology is that it's only now starting to become ready enough for the general public to start seeing and accessing it. Many of us in different industries may have already been using different forms of AI, but now it's becoming AI for public. And so I'm sure, like with many of you, we've been using ChatGPT and other things certainly the last 1 year, I think, was really the year of ChatGPT, I think. And so what I'd love for each of you to share with the audience is, where do we go from here? Now that generative AI and accessible AI is in the public conscious, and I think it's pretty well acknowledged that this is not a hype cycle. This is now here to stay technology disruption. But with regards to customer experience, where do we go next? What will the next 2 years hold for the experience industry? Now that could be, how does AI sort of affect actual customer experiences? So for all of us as customers, it could be maybe how that technology can elevate experiences beyond what we've even previously been able to do. So creating entirely new territory. And then finally, of course, it's what does it mean for all of us as CX professionals to say, how do we enhance or further our industry using AI? But with that short-term lens of the next couple of years in mind, I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. Maybe, Al-Mohammed, if I can ask you to start with yours.
Sure. At the beginning, using AI tool was something good to have, but I think in the couple next years, it's going to be a must to have. I think many companies start considering putting an AI strategy and thinking about different use cases and how to use different tools for the same use case, let's say. So one use case, you will use 4 or 5 different AI technologies to complete the task. I can give one example of use case if needed. I used AI at my company in UX writing. So it helped me to speed up the process like 10x. I write a prompt where I have embedded the tone of voice of our brand in addition to some UX writing instructions. And then I just give the case along with the prompt. And the tool, instead of spending, let's say, 1 to 2 hours brainstorming with colleagues to find the best content, the AI tool with this short prompt, it gives me the resolution within 2 minutes. So it's 10x better, faster, 10x better accurate. Of course, we are not going to copy and paste the results, but it's helped us big time. And at the end, we embed the prompt inside the business process. So anyone comes after us, he will read the business process. He can find a ready prompt that he can copy and paste it in the AI tool to get the same results.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. So efficiency and sort of the ability to work at a higher level of quality seems to be the theme that you've already been able to see. And you see that as being almost, it sounds like that will become the new normal, is to say using AI as that complementary capability in the work that you're already doing.
Yes, exactly.
But maybe you could help us build on that.
Yeah, sure. So I think AI would definitely come into enhancing a lot of areas, different areas into the touch point of customer journeys and customer experience. Maybe one of the top examples I can already see happening on the short term is operations in general. So when we talk about the business operations, and a very good example that we can see lively is the customer support and agents. Maybe I can share this small story. Just recently I was trying to plan my next trip to travel to Mexico, actually. And so I called an agency, a travel agency that could help me with the planning. And I could see the agent was very practical, and she was just getting the numbers and just doing the very practical basic stuff. And so I didn't really like it, and I felt I wouldn't work with this agency. At the same time, I thought to myself, why not ask ChatGPT? And I did, and surprisingly, it actually, it was interacting, asking more questions and understanding my needs to try to personalize that, experience to me. And that was shocking to me at this stage. So imagine in 2 years or more, what chatbots, customer service, all the customer-facing kind of services, and how AI could enhance that immensely, and maybe be even better than a human agent.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yash?
So you asked me that where do I see in short term. So what I've seen is that artificial intelligence has started becoming from a novelty to a normalization, right? Starting from a 10-year-old who is studying in school is starting to using ChatGPT, to my parents who are 60-plus-year-old are also accessing AI on a daily basis. So that is the power of AI we are seeing on a regular basis. So my colleagues talk about the efficiency part of AI. So the other part that is there in terms of understanding and uncovering the truths that we are not aware about. And that is where the machine learning part of AI is truly helping us in order to take a lot of informed decisions. Imagine, for example, you call a call center and that call center person is aided by an AI and helping them on a real-time basis to help them take informed actions based on your journey that you had with the company previously, plus the similar experiences that the other had. That is the power of OpenAI that we are talking about, the AI. One is the efficiency part, second is uncovering the hidden truth.
Very interesting, very interesting. And some final comments, please, on this question.
Well, for generative AI, as you said, AI is not new to the market. It has been there for the past 40 or 50 years. People have been trying to use AI to automate things, either in control or in medicine. Lots of research for the past 40 years have been talking about AI model automation, intelligence, etc. However, the way we see generative AI specifically, it's one of the things that will change the face of Earth. It will change history. We see it in Lucidia. It is similar as the discovery of fire, of discovery of the wheel, journalism, or the internet. It's one of the things or items or discoveries that by achieving it, we have been able to disturb the industry, the technology, even the relationships between the countries, the history, everything will change with this generative AI. With respect to customer experience, the way we see it, any company that does not adapt with the latest technology fast enough, they will be left out. Because with generative AI, now you can do a lot of things that it has not been possibly before the introduction of generative AI.
Absolutely. Yeah, very much so. I think, if I may, I'll share my brief thoughts on this particular question, although I want to make the focus more for you guys. But on this particular topic, I think the prediction I would make is that I think we now have to get used to the idea of having a relationship with self-aware technology. And that's a new paradigm for humankind that we haven't had to face before. I think the closest we got was with the introduction of smart assistants like Siri and, hello Google, and we're starting to have a conversation with a device that is very personal, or Alexa and things in our home. But that was still conversational. It still felt like a voice recognition, even though it had a name and they tried to humanize it. But I think we've seen the difference of, what the large language models of AI have become. And literally from, ChatGPT 3 to 3.4 to 3.5 to 4, and at the pace it's evolving, if we think of the next 2 years, I think that's really where it's going to be, is that it's going to become a relationship with smart technologies. Because I'm sure as you all already use it, you have these prompts, but actually it's easier to write it as a conversation, So with search, it's like a couple of keywords like how do I this, and you get smart at that. But with large language, it's easier to actually just write. That will turn to speech, that will turn to imagery, and we're already seeing that. So yeah, I think experience is really about relationships with things. And I think so much of technology and customer experience is focused on what you guys have described, right? Like efficiency and process and, making, the business outcome work better for a customer. But actually, I think what will happen next is the customer will have their own relationship with AI touchpoints and build their own expectations and own experiences. And we'll have a very different set of challenges to come out as professions to say, the AI is not giving me the experience I want, or, the experience of one AI versus another is different. Why is that? In the same way we think of, well, why is the experience of one brand different to another? Our expectations will be changed forever. So I'd like to build on this with all of you to say, is the technology ready for that yet? Are we going to see this really happen in the next 2 years, especially given the scale and speed that we're seeing ChatGPT itself, learn and improve? Or do you think we're going to see a little bit of a pause in the momentum, because there are many other disruptors, right? Like legislation and policy that people are having to also temper back. Or do you think we're still going to see a big boom in the next 2 years? Yeah, so maybe you can come to us straight on this topic.
Actually, before I start talking about what will happen in the next 2 years, I would like to correct some of the ideas that you've shared. Given the fact that generative AI or ChatGPT interacts with you in a way that human does, it doesn't mean that it is self-aware. At least it's not yet self-aware.
Not yet, yeah.
This is a very debatable scientific discussion in the scientific community, and proving it, even humans, we cannot prove that he is or she is self-aware. With respect to the technology, large language models, it's not a new field. The way that OpenAI pivoted ChatGPT or the large language models, it's the interface that allowed humans to interact with the model to answer or summarize or generate content that people would take hours to generate. So the improvements or for the technology, for this specific technology, it's still booming. There are a lot of changes that we see every day. We have opened the gates to a technology that it will allow you to improve very quickly. Now, with the generative AI, we can summarize thousands and thousands of scientific papers and allow us to understand things better, to speed up or to make us very efficient. So this will also reflect on the technology. If we were previously, every 7 years had a new technology, let's look for IoT or let's look for blockchain or big data. If you notice, every 7 years or so, we have a new technology that would conquer the market. But with the generative AI, especially ChatGPT, it will allow you to achieve newer technologies faster and faster than before.
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe you can come to us next on this.
Yeah. Regarding how let's say official entities and as well businesses and companies can help facilitate better technology in terms of AI, one of the I would say things I would like to see is a more collaboration between different businesses to share data, but then privacy concerns come in. But for example, let's take cookies, for example. So today we visit websites, right? And those websites collect data about users, and then they share these data together to personalize the experience of visitors and consumers. So they know a lot about us, and this helps them to at least provide a more personal experience. Sometimes it can be frustrating to some users. It feels like a privacy breach. But when it comes to customer experience, I think if there was a way to share this data sets, it would help actually improve the customer experience throughout the different touch points. So let's imagine not even on an online experience, even the offline physical one. So imagine they have those different experience about you, Hamad, and they know what you like to eat, if you're lactose intolerant, or what are your preferences, and then you go to a restaurant and maybe view their digital menu, and the menu that you view is different than somebody else's menu because of this data that they know about you. They know what your preferences are, so they can give you much better suggestions, much more personalized.
I like that idea. Yeah. Amazing. Al-Muhammad.
Yes. Thinking about your questions, in terms of the computing power, I think nothing will stop AI from getting in advance and much, much higher than we imagine. Right now, for example, I'm speaking here physically, but I can use some AI tool to speak in online webinar in another place, and nobody can recognize that I'm here at two different places, actually. Over time, many customer care agents will be replaced by agent AI, but I want to bring the attention and ask all businesses to hold their horses a little bit, to think about the ethical side of AI. Sadaya already published a couple of guides targeting, one of them talking about the principles and ethics of using AI, the other one targeting government entities and highlighting some risk about you cannot upload any kind of data to the AI tool, because still AI tools are not, let's say, transparent enough about the copyrights and how these data, if we are uploading it, are gonna recycled and presented to other users. So nothing will stop AI, but I think business owner and government should have some involvement to put the standards and ethics, some guidelines about how to use AI. In company level, I think each company should consider using AI. And if they are not using it, they are way behind. But at the same time, they should educate and build awareness among employees about the available tool and how they can use each tool, instead of preventing and banning using these tools. Otherwise, people will find their ways and use it in different ways. But educating people and employees about how to use it is the best strategy.
Yeah, it's a very good alternative view to the topic. I have something I'd like to add to that in a moment, but Yash, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
See, what is happening right now is that every organization, depending upon what industry they are in, they want to adapt AI into their product and services they are offering. I will call it's more people are attractive towards it and more of fear of missing out. But there's also a lot of gap analysis when it comes to the right talent that is available in the market who understand the LLM models or science behind AI. Because I'm sure when we were studying in colleges doing our engineering, AI was not a subject. It was more theoretical as we were learning, right? And the courses in the college, everything has to be adapted. So answering your question, Ahmad, that I see that there will be some sort of consolidation that will happen. People will start learning, experimenting, and seeing what kind of results they can get with AI before it goes to the next level. But the speed, I would say, will be much faster, as we have seen in the past with when, let's say, World Wide Web was launched, or when data analytics as a field was launched, or digital marketing as a field was launched. So the field at which this pace go, the pace will increase, but we will see in the short term that there will a lot of consolidation that will happen in the market, and people will start learning, and it will start from the grassroots level where these courses are being taught in colleges. People from the industry are experimenting and learning more about AI.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, building on points from all of you, one of the observations and indeed one of the initiatives I'm working on is around the visualization of AI. So, a lot of you, I'm sure, will be familiar with the fact that in the media, and in fact, even within the technology industry, when you say AI, the imagery that comes to your mind is robots and the Terminator, and, it's this dystopian future of, cyborgs and kind of disruptive and aggressive technology. The colors are actually quite aggressive. It's blacks and neons, and it's not a comfortable visual communication to the public to say, here's the future, but also here's a dark picture of that future. And I think that comes from many reasons. One is actually it came to us very quickly. So we were imagining AI, and now it's here. And we didn't really have a time to sort of catch up in public to say this is how we visually talk about technology like we have with other things. And you mentioned social media, for example. And ethics was another example, you know, and policy, which social media had to go through when it came to disrupting the publishing and the media industry. So I think that's another area we're going to see a change in the next few years, is that we're going to have to reset our expectations of how we communicate about AI, because we're talking about the art of the possible and better experiences. But the first thing we do with a PowerPoint is put up a picture of a robot, you know, and it doesn't really work, because that's not the picture of the future that any of us want to see. So even as professionals, we say, let me talk to you about AI. Here's the Terminator, you know, and so you're already disrupting your own message because we don't have a visual language to support our potential. So I think that's going to be something we need to work on to help catch up, you know, the art of the possible with the experience that we need to have.
So just to add your point.
Yeah, please.
We were in a space where UI UX was getting more and more important. And with AI, now we are going into a no UI interface.
Yeah.
Right? You were talking about visualization and robots, but as we go more into AI, if you look at OpenAI or ChatGPT, there's no UI. It's all chat-based interpreted generative AI. So I see next 5 to 10 years, it will be more focused on a no UI interface that we'll start working on.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we're running out of time. And so what I'd love, if I can, to ask just a closing remark from each of you on maybe some advice to the audience from your expert perspective, to say, what can we be focusing on for the short term to be able to, back to the original point, help us improve the customer experience that we deliver, or to enhance and create experiences that were not possible and AI can take us there, or as CX professionals improve our own industry. So pick whichever of the three you feel passionate about, and I'd love for you to share your wisdom with the audience as a final remark, please. Let's start out of sequence again. Al-Muhammad, let's maybe start with you.
Thank you. My only advice would be to start with a good intentions. So when we think about AI, we need to think how these tools are going to impact human experience in a positive way. If we start thinking about how are we going to cut costs using AI tools, it's going to be a totally different story. So starting with a good intention is the best advice I can take to everyone. And I would like to add that where the technology take us, the human touch and the human interaction will never get replaced by AI tools, regardless where we gonna reach. Thank you so much.
Inshallah. Yasif. Yes, sir.
Okay. For us, I guess the advice that we would give to everyone, not only to 6 companies, is that use AI as a friend or as a tool, not as an enemy. We understand that with AI, it disturbs the market so much that some of the companies that were heading to be a unicorn company, now they are worth nothing because AI is just replacing all the services that they were providing in a simple way. Like, for example, all of the chatbot companies, now they are worthless, in my opinion, because we at Lوسيديا have been able to create our own advanced chatbot in only 5 days with the technology that is in our hand. However, the way that we should look into the AI is as a tool or as a friend that it will allow us to bring more features or more tools to the customers or to the clients, to allow them to improve the service, to improve the experience, to improve everything around us, even if it deprecated some of our existing tools or our existing items or even the things that we sell to clients.
Okay, absolutely. Bara?
Yeah. So I think when we think about it, AI would probably influence the customer experience design as well. So the process of designing the customer experience. So let's take, for example, personas or journey mapping, right? Imagine if AI could analyze all of this data and then transform it into actually personas and do what we now do as consultants or designers, and they might even do it better with all this like data sets and come up with not actual empathy, but what can sound like a simulation of those journeys and those findings, and they can do it in the split of seconds. And this might sound scary to us in the customer experience professionals, and it might take our jobs away, but my advice briefly would be is to not fear AI, but instead learn how to employ that technology, like just any technology, into our favor, and learn the skills needed to do that.
Absolutely. And then finally, Yash, please.
So my only piece of advice for the audience will be that please don't be scared by AI and start embracing it. Start understanding how it can help you, whether it's with your day-to-day operations or helping you to do your job better. I would say that AI still has its flaws, whether it comes to privacy, whether it comes to accuracy, whether it comes to deep linking that we are seeing right now with fakes and everything. But every technology, when it starts, will have those challenges. So let's not wait for it to get perfect. Let's start working in that ecosystem and being part of the workforce that makes it perfect. And I'm sure it will reach to a stage where we are using it on a daily basis regularly, and it's part of our ecosystem. But let's start embracing it instead of getting scared with it.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. If I can, for the audience, I'll summarize what I thought were my 4 takeaways from what you said, which was let's start with good intentions when it comes to AI. Let's embrace collaboration and think of ways to work together with the technology and with others using the technology. Let's embrace change as professionals and realize that we're at a time where the way we have been doing things has taken us this far. Now AI can help us baseline that and create a new opportunity for us to innovate beyond how our profession works. And then finally, not to be scared. And again, think about the art of the possible and start to experiment. I hope I was able to summarize each of your points for the audience. But in closing, I'd like to thank you all for your wonderful comments. It's been our privilege to hear you. I'm sure the audience also found some value in that. Please do feel free to speak to any of our guests after the panel, should you wish to get more of the conversation with them. So thank you all for attending. Thank you again for your time to my panelists. Please enjoy the rest of the conference and event. And ma salama shukran. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamad.